We really destroy the concept of work and break. Is the anime the work or is the anime the break? I don't really know, and I'm the guy who came up with the reverse Animedoro. The reverse Animedoro is better than Animedoro. It's also better than Pomodoro, and if you're not doing it, what are you doing with your life? My memory is like a goldfish. My memory is like a goldfish. Did I say that already? So as a medical student, I found studying quite difficult. I watched a video from a YouTuber called Josh Chen about his new study technique called the Animedoro. I thought it was amazing, but when I was watching it, I couldn't help but think, there's a way that we can make this better. So I spent hours in the lab mixing different ingredients together till I found it. The greatest study method of all time, the reverse Animedoro. To fully understand the reverse Animedoro, we need to understand Animedoro. And to understand that, we need to understand its extinct predecessor, Pomodoro. The Pomodoro is a time management technique developed in the 1980s. It splits time into 25-minute intervals based on a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. So people are using this as a study method to split their study sessions into 25-minute periods, taking a few minutes break in between. In Animedoro, you do 40 to 60 minutes worth of work, followed by one shortened episode of anime, which is about 19 minutes. In the reverse Animedoro, you watch two back-to-back episodes of anime. It's usually helpful if they're the same anime, and then you follow this by 15 to 20 minutes of studying. And the studying part of it is optional. To do this, you start watching an episode of anime, which will usually last around 20 minutes, and you can include the intro and the outro for this as well, because they're integral and useful parts of the anime. As soon as this finishes, you start the next anime, so there's no break in between, you have to go straight on to the next anime. When the second anime is finished, you're around the 40 to 45 minute mark, you can then begin working if you feel like it. So you work from that time until the hour mark. So if you finished at 45 minutes, you work from 45 minutes to 60 minutes. So you've got 15 minutes of optional studying there. You do have to be quite strict with yourself because when you hit that hour mark, you need to get straight back to the anime. To demonstrate why this method is better than Animedoro, I'm going to talk about some of the advantages of it compared to the traditional Animedoro. To do this, I'm going to use some graphs to help illustrate the point. The first thing is that this method is way more fun than Animedoro or Pomodoro. You can see from this bar chart here the level of fun you get with each of these studying methods, and the reverse Animedoro is by far eclipsing the rest of these methods. The Animedoro, which is naturally slightly more fun than the Pomodoro technique, but the reverse Animedoro definitely takes the crown in this area. Next up, you get through way more anime, and this is where these other methods were lacking. In the Pomodoro technique, you get through 0 anime. In the Animedoro technique, you get through 1 anime every hour, and in the reverse Animedoro technique, you can get through 2 animes. So really, you're doubling your output of anime by using this method. So this is really the key and what we're missing in these other methods. With this technique, you get to watch the intro and the outro to these episodes as well. So this is something you don't get to do in the Animedoro technique because you're quite strict on your timings and you've got to get to work. With the reverse Animedoro, you can do whatever you want really. It's quite a flexible and fun thing to do. So you can watch the intro, you can watch the outro, and if you do watch them, it just means the studying time is shortened, which if we went back to the first graph, is probably going to increase the fun that you have, and will also increase the amount of anime that you watch. The other thing that makes this great is that the studying portion of it is completely optional. So the anime is mandatory, but the studying part of it you don't have to do if you don't want to. And finally, the main advantage of this technique is that it really doesn't feel like work. And that's mainly because it isn't work. We really destroy the concept of work and break. Is the anime the work or is the anime the break? I don't really know, and I'm the guy who came up with the reverse Animedoro. That's what makes this technique so elusive and seductive. It's just so mysterious. Now, I'm not one to put labels and to stereotype things, but if we were to consider the anime as the break and we looked at the work to break ratio, we're looking at 2.86 minutes to 1 Pomodoro, 2 to 3 minutes to 1 Animedoro, and only 20 seconds to 1 minute reverse Animedoro. So I'm a fair guy. What are the disadvantages of this? One of the main ones is that you will end up studying way less. The studying session in an Animedoro is 40 to 60 minutes. The studying session in a reverse Animedoro is maximum 20 minutes, but even that 20 minutes is optional. So in a 3-hour study session, you can work anything between 0 and 60 minutes. And you might be a little bit disappointed if you've studied for 3 hours and maybe you've got 0 actual minutes of studying done. So that can be a drawback. There's a good chance that if you do follow this technique, you won't get into med school, or if you're at med school, you won't pass med school. But you know, who really cares? Because that way you'll still have time to watch more anime. I'm going to illustrate this better by using a graph showing students' grades, and because this is a just released technique, this is projections of grades. So as you can see, we've got the Pomodoro technique and how well students are going to do there. We've got the Animedoro technique, which is fairly similar, and then we've got the reverse Animedoro, which is a fair bit less. I think this we can probably attribute to the fact that you are barely studying at all. The name of the technique is also slightly longer, so every time you say reverse Animedoro, that takes slightly longer, and if you're saying it a lot, that's going to decrease your productivity. So I'm sure by now you are convinced that the reverse Animedoro is the future of studying. By doing 45 minutes of just watching anime, followed by around 15 minutes of doing some optional work, we're going to create a new and brighter future together. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please show it some love and hit the like button. Drop me a comment to let me know if you're going to use this technique, and if you're new, make sure you check my channel out and hit the subscribe button. Take care everyone, and stay safe.